What's that look like now? Well, it looks cleaned up. Okay, let's take a look at this under a microscope and get a good look at it. Okay, there's my microscope. Now, old tape. Old tape's not going to work. Okay, let's have a look. There we are. Pretty high magnification here. So I believe that's the micro groove or LP. The LP side. And the other side here still pretty dirty. Now, okay, let me just make sure which side we're looking at. First I gotta just... Okay, I'm helping myself know what side I'm looking at. So we're looking at that side. So the one we're looking at is the LP side. This is the diamond that would be used to play a regular 33 1/3 record. A regular, call it modern record. Not everything but 78. Needs a little more cleaning. You can see right through it. Sure looks like you can see right through it. Very interesting. Okay, let me do some funny light stuff here. Well, you can't really look at the tip of that needle and say, wow, that's a sharp point. Yeah. Sorry if there's been some phone interference on the video for the last little bit. I had my phone in my pocket by accident. Looks pretty worn down to me. That's what it kind of looks like. But it's not really the tip that's of interest. Oddly enough, it's the sides. So you can see the lever the needles are on. You can picture how that is being dragged through the record groove. In fact, the record groove is being dragged across the needle. So you get an idea how that needle is sitting in the groove. I mean, the grooves are running the same way that the cantilever arm is. Grooves then are wearing on the sides of the needle, the side we're looking right at. And as the needle wears away, it produces a flat. Can you see a flat on there? That doesn't look flat to me. The way the light's reflecting, it looks very conical. Now, if I can only find my little flashlight here, we'd be better off, but I'll do it with this light. Let me just shut off some of the lights, including this one. Uh-oh, don't go anywhere. It's tipped over here. Let's see if I can straighten it up. Where's it gone? It's a microscope, you know. Really, way over there. Okay, this isn't working out very well. Oh my gosh. There we go. That's that's an interesting view right there. Let me just focus this up a little bit. It sure has like signs of, I don't know what. Again, it does not look like it has a point on it. So the way these are built is they're kind of like three pieces to them, if you like. The outer one, the wide one at the bottom, the left, is some kind of epoxy type material, some kind of glue, something to stick everything to the cantilever arm. And then inside that, and protruding at the top, the next layer is some kind of stiff holding material, plastic or something they were using. And then that end, that material is shaved down in a conical shape, and at the very tip, a diamond is placed. The diamond is actually a very small part. This whole thing is not a chunk of diamond. That'd be crazy. It's just the very, very tip. I think the diamond's missing. I think the diamond's been knocked off and the needle's been played without the diamond. I'm not sure you can even do that. Does not look to be in good shape to me. When you see a nice needle, you know it. A little bit uncertain. Probably not too good. So let me just undo the zoom here a little bit. Good luck to this. You might actually end up with a better look at it. It's yellowy, I think, because of the light I'm using. The very tip of it is just bright like crazy now. So the technique to really look for the flat is for me to try to reflect the light off the flat surface. And instead of seeing what you might imagine the light would look like on a cone, you'll suddenly see a flat spot. But I don't think I can actually shine the light exactly the way it needs to be shone here. This will all be happening right up towards the tip. It's just, the microscope is in the way of the whole thing. What about from up here? That's not too bad. So when I'm moving the light back and forth, and you can see the reflection kind of rotating around the cone. And the idea is, right in this area there would be a flat spot. And the degree of that flatness and how close the flatness comes to the point helps you judge how much wear is on the needle. It all sounds too complicated, doesn't it? But this thing isn't really matching up with any of that, any of those notions at all. Well, I would deem it to be bad. Do I have another one like that? I mean, also it was bent on a funny angle, and looks like it's ready to pull apart. I think if I pulled on it, it would come apart. And it's surprising how much pull there is in a record when it's being played and that needle's being dragged through it. There's quite a pulling on the needle. Do I have another one of those? What are the chances? I will look and see. Well, as much as I thought I had something like this, probably even if I do, it's not really quite right. I couldn't find it. So I'm just going to put this one back on. Just using alcohol again to clean it up good. There we go. Should we have another look at it? Maybe we should. Let's have another peek. Okay, so we're looking straight down on the needle that would be used to play a 33 1/3 regular LP type record. And I'm just going to focus upwards. We're focused kind of down on the cantilever, so I'll just bring the focus up. I think I'm going down. Let's go the other way. You see like a focal plane rising up. Something very interesting is going to happen, because I already took a peek at this. We're getting up towards the peak, or the point. Well, that looks a little odd to me. Now we've gone right past it. I'll take the focal plane lower again. We're just getting the point. What's that all about? So notice the angle of that, I don't know what they call it, bright line, right where the point, right where you would expect to point. It's perfectly in line with the shape of the cantilever, or the angle of the cantilever. So I would say that's those wear sides. You can see on either side of the needle, you can see a white flash. So this is indicating a lot of wear. I think that's what this is really saying. Could be it's worn into a chisel shape. Kind of like that. Okay. I think we can really conclude that a new needle is really what, if this record player were to go back to work, it needs a new needle. I don't think there's any doubt. And by go back to work, I mean go back to play a lot of records regularly. Okay, I think we're ready to give this guy a test. Here's the record I picked. It's a pretty obscure record. I bet you there's not many copies of this floating around. Yeah. The Tenants. It's kind of a Toronto band, I guess. Okay. Let's try side. Better try side one. Side one, number one. Okay, so a number of things have to happen right here. First I got it on the right speed. We have it on the right needle, which is the one that says LP. And the record, as it drops, has to trigger a mechanism that'll tell the record player it's a 12-inch record. Otherwise the needle will come in too far. It'll start too far in. Sound has to work. What I'm doing is I'm taking the output at the end of the cable from here. You can see some clip leads down here. And feeding it right into the sound system that we're listening to. Now there's a little bit of hum happening here. Okay, I'm just going to cut back on the too many microphones going on here. Okay, so unfortunately there's a bit of a hum. We'll see what happens. Not sure about the volume just yet. Finger test. Oh yeah. Stereo for sure. Okay. Let's see what happens. Ooh. What happened there? Wow, it just seemed to really come to a sudden halt. Well, let's give it another go. Tell the volume's pretty good. I'm going to knock it back a bit. Shouldn't be able to hear your hand on this too much. Okay. Temp number 2. My guess is something is sticking underneath, and we're going to have to do a little more lubrication. I haven't done the lubrication underneath yet, so let's see if there's a manual here. Turn it on manually. Good. Just checking the needle just before I put it on. Okay, so I'm listening for any kind of crackling or indication of a bad connection at the back here. Did you see how bizarre that was? In the one channel, it seemed to be volume related. How can that be? How can that be? Volume related. Intermittent. Also seemed to relate to the turntable's position, which is the first thing I thought was going on. Now, how that would, how could that possibly affect it? I mean, there's a bit of this going on. There's even maybe a bit of this, probably not. Pretty weird. There's definitely something strange about this. Let's hear another song. I adjusted the tone, that's why the tone control's in there. So it doesn't sound so bad. I didn't do a thing there. What happened there? Okay, so I think a cartridge like this one would be looking for, I don't know, 4 grams, 5 grams, maybe 6 grams, I'm not sure. Okay, here we go. Oh, can you see that number there? Let me just tip it. Oh. Depends how high you've got it here. Because it's spring loaded, so it is just plainly too heavy. So that's very direct evidence of that. So I have the, every time I lifted it up, that weirdness went away. And that measurement, 12, no, 12, no. Okay, so adjusting that. Spring down here. Usually there's something to do somewhere. Usually there's something to do somewhere. Okay, let's look at the other camera here. Okay, let's see what you can see here. I don't know if that just doesn't look like an adjustment back here to me. A little more light. Well, can be you turn that. Turn that and it pulls the end of this up and down on the threaded piece. Oh, we need to relax this spring. It's fixed. Could just bend the spring. It's not the easiest way to do it, but right out of control. That would come up a little bit if I were to do it. It's very sensitive. It does feel very heavy. Okay. I think this drastic action is required. How did it get that way? How would it get this heavy? Somebody put a different cartridge in. You know, look at it. So somebody's come along, put a different cartridge in, probably a newer, better one, replacing the old one, original one. So we ended up with a better cartridge. But its dimensions are kind of cockeyed compared to the tone arm, or the way they've put it in. Looks like there's a clip up in there. I'm not going to remove it. So that's probably what's happened. So you're putting this whoppingly heavy cartridge as compared to the original, and all of a sudden this thing's at a lead weight. Okay, that would mean probably really kind of beyond here. The spring needs to be strengthened, not loosened, because the spring, the way it's arranged, is in fact pulling up on the arm. So it needs more pull. You need more pull. Can't see how moving this up and down a little bit is going to make any kind of significant difference. It's just so tiny. An additional spring. Put in an additional spring. Hook it here. Parallel it. Hook it there. It's cheaper. So I've got some springs, but they're very, very strong. Replace the spring. Wow, good luck on getting that right. How much tension is in this spring? Cool, quite a bit. That's not weak. So I'm feeling the tension of the spring by pushing on it, and I'm moving the arm up and down, feeling if the tension's going up. And just towards the bottom here, you can kind of feel it tense up a little bit. That's exactly how they want it to be. Gotta do something. Can't leave it at 12. That's just crazy. Of course, another way of dealing with this is to try the actual adjustment, which is just up under here. All I'm doing is turning that threaded piece. Which way? Ooh, that's much heavier. Okay, let's try that. Hey. Okay, let's see what we've got now. Okay, there we go. Down to 8. That's unnecessarily heavy. No, that feels a lot lighter. That's more where it should be, I think. For a cartridge like this. Let's give this a go. Okay, let's try this guy out here. Six. Needs to be heavier. About 8. Okay, so I think maybe what we're seeing here is the dull needle also. Not riding well in the grooves and not deep enough to really hold it. Especially because of something that's going on with the mechanism in the last third of the radio, of the record player rather. Well, You know, it's needle not so good. Cartridge acting up. That's what it seems to be like. I have to think about this. Well, I'm left with the impression that a new cartridge is needed here. I think there's a fault in the cartridge itself. Needle is shot. Cartridge isn't the greatest one in the world anyway, so I'm off to look for a replacement. I gotta take this one out. Let's see if we can do it here. I think it's clipped in, and I think what I'm about to do is unscrew the clip. Wow, it's in there pretty tough. Okay, if it's clipped in. It's mighty loose. Good, there's screws, standard screws on the side here. Let's go after those. Okay, so this is a standard way of mounting a cartridge. Just about any cartridge is gonna go in there. Okay, now is there anything written on that cartridge? Not that I think this is the original cartridge. I think it's also a replacement. Yeah, there's something on the side there. (9009E). 9009E. Over here. Okay, well, it's a number, 9009E. So, I have to stop working on this. I can't do any more with it. Might be worth operating it mechanically. This is hanging out here. Yeah, good timing. Let's operate it mechanically today. I should get it exercised every day from now on. Here we go. It's very slow. The motor hasn't reached its proper operating speed, I would say. Okay, let's try this again. There we go. So these motors are very low torque until they're revolving at their synchronous speed. Then they develop some torque. So the startup is very weak. And it's easy to hamper it. Okay, even with the cartridge hanging there. Too late on that. And there you go. Okay, well, it seems to be operating quite well, even with the cartridge hanging there. Okay. Oh, very good. Was that hooked up on the headphones? Oh, did you just listen to all that nonsense? Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, I'm not sure what all that sounded like, but main thing is it's all operating very well. Okay, very good. So this is going away, and another radio is going to come in here, I think, while I obtain a replacement cartridge and can carry on with this project. So thanks a lot for watching to this point.